What's up? What's going on, Victorious family? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are doing well in your spiritual paths and your spiritual journeys. Today on this vlog, I wanted to talk about believing in yourself. Believing in yourself, right? What does that mean, right? When people say believing yourself, or just believing yourself, right? Because for me, I had a hard time trying to grasp this concept, right? I had a hard time trying to really understand what does that really mean, right? It's like, oh, it should be obvious, but sometimes some things really aren't. Shocking to say, some things really are not as obvious as some people would like to make them or think they are, right? So when it comes to believing in yourself, right? Let me see. Where should I go with this? For me, right? Start here. Maybe I can work this in together. Yes, I can. Yes, I can work it together. For me, I've had times where I've tried so very hard in order to get far, right? Or only to get so much, right? When I came into my spiritual awakening, before that, I felt like I had a little bit more belief in myself, right? Though things were not necessarily going as well for me, right? Because that was pretty much a rebirth into now being or knowing that you are a spiritual being living a human experience, right? For me, when I started to really get deep into this knowledge, right? To really start to listen into these higher topics, right? This higher knowledge topic, or these higher knowledge topics, right? While I was going through the spiritual awakening, I didn't necessarily realize that I was a spiritual being, right? And then, or really realize, right, that concept of a spiritual being living in a human experience, right? But at a certain point, when I was watching this knowledge, when I was learning these things, right, I had felt like somewhere here on my chest, right, I guess in the area of my heart, right, like something had fallen away. I know that sounds weird, right? I didn't have anything on me, nothing that fell physically, but more vibrationally, right, more, I guess, internally, like something had fallen away from me, right? And immediately on after that, right, I have just struggled hard to believe that I was worthy or worthy to exist, or I myself have any type of meaning, right? Because I think a lot of the things that went on in my childhood also made it hard for me to believe myself right there. But then also, right, I had this idea or mentality that everything was just my fault for some reason, right? Like, all of these things that had happened, the weight of the world was on me and it's all just my fault. I don't know why I had that idea in my mind, but that's what I felt like, right? And as I started to get deeper and deeper into this knowledge, I kept feeling like I'm so guilty. This is all my fault. I don't know why. I really don't. But like I said, I think these were things that happened to me in my childhood, or maybe some subconsciously something had happened to where that was the belief I took on. Right? But from there on, right, I guess my mind had also started to rewire itself, right? After learning more about different things, after realizing, the state of the world, different ideas, and what we thought of as truth was true, but not, right? And realizing all of these terrible things, right? Terrible things that seem to go on and happen away from our views and viewpoints, and learning about so many different things. I'm not gonna go into them because truthfully, I just don't want to, right? But more so, that's only going to make me feel bad, right? But, during that time, right, with all this information that I had learned stuck in my mind, right, I was having problems just simply believing I deserved to exist, right? Believing that me existing was a good thing in any way, shape, or form, right? And everything that I was learning and started to realize spiritually were only telling me that I am a great being, I'm a great person, I deserve more in my life. But for me, it was hard for me to believe that. It was hard for me to believe that that's true about me. And the days seemed really long but very short. Just telling you how I felt like it was, right? Doesn't have to necessarily make perfect sense with that, but we were starting to look at things more spiritually. It starts to change up a bit, right? I felt like I was a prisoner within my own mind, right? I felt like I was just sucked in somewhere, very small, very tiny, but right, I'm here within my physical being. I'm here, right? But I didn't feel very here. I felt so far back from everything. Best way for me to kind of explain that. But as time passed and time went on, right, slowly for me, because I didn't necessarily know what to do. And for me, I was afraid to kind of approach anything, right? Didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to really watch anything anymore. I didn't want to play any video games. Didn't want to listen to music because of all these different things that I had found out and heard about as far as what happened in life, right? What happened in existence and what is, right? As far as all of these things are concerned. But then, interesting enough, firstly, I'm gonna say, as time went on, I started to feel better, right? I started to internally feel better. But it was very slow as far as how I was progressing. But up until recently, only now am I really starting to, understand more, since we're talking about spirituality and things. Anyway, but only now am I starting to realize things that, as far as everything is concerned, right? All of these things that have happened ain't really got shit to do with me. Why? Because I didn't do none of that shit, right? But for a while, right, it was hard for me to really think about this, right? As if things weren't my fault. But I start to realize, right, that the world in certain areas is a pretty fucked up place, to be honest, right? Pretty messed up right now that you're coming into awareness of all these things and how backwards everything is and how forward things should be and how it's hard to do, right? All of these other little nuances and pieces and things, right? But only recently did I really start to realize that in order for me to believe in myself, right, it becomes a choice at a certain point, right? Because after learning about these things, and my head was in this frozen whirlspin, best way to put it, right? And the days seemed long but short, right? And I felt like a prisoner within my own mind, right? I only began to realize, right, with all this and not feeling any feelings really, right? Because I said, felt like spiritually, like something around my heart had fallen away, right? Weird trying to describe these things, but this is what it is, right? I realized that everything becomes a choice, right? After feeling very neutral, very spiritually messed up, right? Very sad, very uninterested in being and living, right? From that point, the only thing I could really do was make a choice, right? The only thing I can do there is make a choice, right? Looking at things from the idea of the observer, right? Moving back from my personal opinion, my ego, how I feel about something. Only thing I can do is just look directly at things and realize that it all comes to a choice at the end of the day, right? I can choose to continue to not talk to anybody, continue to not listen to my music, continue to be sad, right? Continue to sit here and not have a good time, for lack of better words, right? It all neutrally looking at each and everything becomes a choice, right? And knowing that things are energies, right? Knowing that what I can insert myself into, right? The energy or the information or knowledge that I can get myself into, right? Ranging from stuff that's like way up there, right? That higher knowledge, right? Or the things that are way down there, right? More lower vibrational, more the scary type of things, right? I can choose to go into each piece of knowledge that I wanted to. I can choose to listen to any type of song or music I wanted to. I can go to sleep, wake up, and do this, do that, right? It all becomes a choice, right? What you choose to do. And given all of these different things, right, that a lot of people are starting to wake up to and come into and now learn about, right? It's best to now use your choices effectively, right? Start to now grasp hold of your own personal belief of what you wanted to, right? And like earlier I mentioned, right, if there was any information that resonated with you, that's part of it as well, right? That's part of who you are or what will resonate with you. Once again, you can choose to go into that. You can choose to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's cool too, right? But it's all about your choice, right? Strangely enough, right? I found out that life itself has no purpose, right? And that's kind of strange to think, right? What? All of this has no purpose? Right. But here's the difference, right? This is why you get to find your purpose, right? You get to decide what your purpose is upon the earth, plane, the world, realm, whatever, right? I heard a lot of words thrown around about what this is, but the thing is, right, you get to choose what it is you want to do, what it is you want to be into, right? You have more fuller control over yourself, over your actions, over what you think, and all of these things, right? And it becomes self-mastery, like I said earlier. All right. So from then, once again, it took me a while to really start to want to do things again, because I was just so shell-shocked, right? After realizing all the things that I had been doing were technically wrong to a degree, right? Because simply I lacked knowledge, right? There is a quote by, I believe, Noble Drew Ali, right? Our people perish for a lack of knowledge, right? And with that, it's like, well, if you don't know that you're doing wrong, right? If you don't know that you're doing wrong or not intentionally doing wrong, but it's still wrong, how would you know if you didn't know the right way to do it, right? Or if you didn't know that way you were doing it was wrong? You wouldn't, right? Without that knowledge, you would continue to do that thing wrong. Without learning something better, you would continue to be doing wrong, right? Or maybe you think it's right to you, right? Because that's the way you've been doing it, right? And it's been getting results for you, but maybe not the results that you truly would have wanted or would be best, right? But, right, knowledge is very powerful in both ways, right? It can either help you or it can destroy you. Or the lack of it can also destroy you, right? And too much of it can destroy you. But aside from all of that, really, right, after coming into my awakening, right, I had to choose to believe in myself. I had to choose to believe that I am worthy to exist and be. I had to choose to believe that I myself have much more to live for, right? Because once again, right, I went all through all of this alone, with nobody there to help me, and nobody telling me anything about anything, right? Especially since I wasn't talking to nobody, I wasn't listening to any music, ain't nobody else influencing me. It's just me and that knowledge, right? And then from there, right, it's all my choice as to what I would have done, would have decided to do, or decided to do. Whew. But all that being said, right, it's a choice to believe in yourself. It's a choice to believe that you are worthy, that you are a special being, that you are unique. It's a choice. And the best thing for you, right, is to believe that you are worthy, right? Especially if you're going through these awakenings and realizing how messed up things are, right? Because I'll be honest, for me, at a certain point, after seeing the amount of horrendous shit that took place, is taking place, and might be going to take place, I'm thinking, what is even the point anymore, Why even exist? If this is the best that life can be, right? If these are the type of things that are happening, why would I exist here? Why am I existing here, right? It just really threw me into many different questions of why? Why is that? Why is this? Why am I here, right? Did I do this? Am I now having to pay for this and suffer for all of these things I saw, right? Because for me, I felt like it all just really got attached to me. I don't know. It's the best way for me to put it, right? I guess because I'm more of a sensitive being of sorts, right? I'm more of I don't know, I really feel it. I guess that's some weird shit to say. But I'm not really sure how to describe these things, but for me, right, it really made me wonder and really made me take some steps back to really figure out what is it that I'm to do here, right? And the best thing I could come up with was that before all of this, I never really got a chance to be, right? I never really got a chance to experience the best parts of life, right? And so many other people are talking about how good or great life can be. So I chose to believe that I have more to live for. I chose to believe that I am a special being, that I am worthy of being, that I can do better things in the world to help myself, help my family, and help those who truly care about me, And it's hard to figure these things out. It's hard, that truth pill. That's one hard bitch to swallow, right? That sounded weird. But that's a bitter pill to swallow for real. Knowing the truth of all these things, right? But the other part I didn't necessarily realize at the time was that, right, now that you know the truth, right, you were free, right? You were free from having to clearly be a part of any of that negative shit and all of that crazy crap. But now that you see so much and you realize that that doesn't resonate with you in a very positive way, right? Now you were free to choose your own path. Now you were free to be a part of what you like to be a part of, right? And this is where you must define your own purpose, right? You must figure out what it is you wish to do or why you are here, right? And what can you now offer in a way that is beneficial to others, rather than self-absorbed or so negative, right? All this to say, right, you must define your own purpose, right? You must choose to believe in yourself. You must choose that you must choose to believe that there is something more than just all of this, right? So, the choice is yours, regardless of any. Nobody can truly make you do anything you don't want to do. It is only your choice whether you wish to do it or not, right? That's right. Back when I said, right, I didn't have any emotions registering. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't listening to any music. I didn't really have any influence in my life. I was just me, right? I had to choose to believe I'm worth it. Believe that I can do something greater, besides this world of overwhelming, scary shit, right? That I had no clue of, utterly and completely. But at that point, right, you must realize your belief is the strongest thing that there is, right? Because knowing the truth, after learning about so many different things, the truth can contradict itself right next to itself and have no issues about it, right? Two things that oppositely oppose each other can sit there within the same space and completely respect each other, right? As far as the truth is concerned, right? Which once again leads me to believe that no matter what, all things are possible. All things are possible. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. But once again, you must choose to believe that. Choose to believe it yourself, right? Choose to come up out of the scariness, out of the painful things, out of the immense amount of fear that is brought on with all these things, right? Because now you're free. Hope I'm not walking into circles here, but it's pretty much what it is, right? If you believe in yourself and you take those steps forward and you really, really hold faith in yourself that you can do or accomplish anything, you will get there. Right? You will get there. I say that because for me, right, I've chosen to take some smaller steps to get where I'm going, because after all that, I need to really reconsider what it was I ever thought anything was. Right? And as I start to believe in myself little by little and take these small steps, I start to see things working out for me, right? I start to see things lining up, right? And I've also been really looking for signs in the universe, right? Because before my spiritual awakening, I didn't really notice any signs. I didn't even know that there was a universe. Honestly, I didn't even know that I was a self, or I had a self, or that I existed, or I had any consciousness like me, myself. I didn't know any of this. I didn't realize any of this, right? I was never taught anything. But where's I going with that? I'm gonna to say, but right, after choosing to take these steps and having faith, I start to see things lining up for me. I start to see more come into my life. Right, and each and every day I choose to believe in myself a little bit more. And the other part I had to realize was that I didn't necessarily have a cakewalk of a life, cakewalk of a childhood coming in, right? But I wouldn't even give myself that, right? I wouldn't even give myself any type of compliments or any good things that I did or how strong I am, right? Because I was one who didn't believe in myself, nor did I care about myself, and subconsciously I hated myself, right? Just because of all the different things I had been a part of and gone into. But now after starting to think and choosing to believe in myself, choosing to have faith in me, choosing to get into what I wish to get into, right? Now after seeing so many different things, right? Now choosing to walk steadily on my own path that I'm finding, right? My own spiritual path. I'm starting to feel a lot better about me, who I am as a being, what I can do, right? I start to now give myself more love, right? Thinking to myself, I'm doing great, I'm doing well at this. This is good, this is well, this is fine, right? I'm starting to really kind of feel into things more, right? After not really feeling much initially, right? Realizing how broken I was and how messed up and backwards I really was. Though, at certain points I didn't even let it bother me, right? I didn't let it bother me because I wasn't thinking about it. Right? Now after seeing all these things, I started thinking about things a lot more. But it takes time. Takes self-care, right? Self-love, things I didn't know were necessary, things that I didn't know I didn't have. But right, kind of recap, right? You must choose to believe in yourself. You must choose to believe that you are special. You must choose to believe that you are worthy. And you must choose to find your own purpose in this thing we call life, right? In this existence we call life. And you must take steps, right? You must take steps towards doing these things, because it doesn't really just happen overnight. It ain't that quick, right? But, the more you begin to start thinking thoughts like, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, I'm confident in myself, I love myself, right? The more it starts to rework your mind, and earlier like I was talking about with thought, right? The more you start to open yourself up to more loving thoughts about yourself and more positive thoughts you can think to help benefit you. So, that's about it. I really hope that, I was able to help y'all out. Find a couple little nuggets here and there to really help you on your spiritual path, right? It's one we must walk alone, but at the very least, if I can help anyone out there, feel a little bit better about where they're at, or, help to give some type of encouragement or steps to possibly take, then that's what I'm gonna do, right? It's all about the internal work, your spiritual work, right? And when you do more internal work and you keep adjusting yourself spiritually, right, a lot of different things in this external world, right, which we call reality, start to change into your benefit, right? In the same way, right, things can go negative if you choose not to. If you choose not to, and you choose to think more negative thoughts, right? Once again, stay positive, believe in yourself, have that faith in yourself, choose to feel towards feeling well about yourself. As always, lead yourself to your greatest victory, and peace.